This is a great new metal artist profile.
All right, Michael Keene, Brian Shields with Great New Metal here. We're, a couple months now after Autotheism came out. Tell me a little bit about it. Have you been surprised at all to the reaction to this record?
Yeah, I mean, it's been met with somewhat mixed reviews, but it's been mostly pretty positive, overwhelmingly positive, and which is all we could really ask for. We've only played a handful of shows since it's come out, especially since a few months have passed and it's had time to kind of sink in with people, and it's been pretty awesome seeing people's reactions to the new material. They're like really, really into it. They react more than the old stuff, which is really cool. It's really cool to see that.
So, I mean, there was, I guess, some people out there who just expected artists not advance that have planetary duality, chord 3, chord 5, 6.
Right, exactly. I mean, that's crazy to me. I don't understand why anyone would even want that. I mean, it's not like, to be fair, I think the record is very distinctively the Faceless still. It's not like we abandoned our sound. We just, expanded it, incorporated some new sounds and things. And, I'm honestly a little bit surprised that people didn't expect it. I think most people did, but there's those people out there that didn't expect it. But it's kind of like, I think if we put the same record out again, there would be a lot more people surprised by that than if we hadn't.
Now, you and I had some conversations early on. You were involved in the writing of this, and I wanted to maybe just ask you a little bit about some of the things we talked about in terms of some of the influences, some of the people you thought about as you were writing this. And obviously, the name that jumps out to me was John Zorn. Why should metal kids who love the Faceless know who John Zorn is?
Well, he's been responsible for a lot of awesome music, not only playing but producing. He produced the first Mr. Bungle albums, and Naked City, and a lot of like really cool experimental stuff that definitely influenced me. Not only like playing, but more so songwriting, I guess. I've always just liked experimental, weird music, stuff that pushes the bounds and boundaries, and it doesn't get much weirder than John Zorn, so pretty awesome.
And you kind of grew up in an environment that valued that sense of experimentation and it was improvisation.
Yeah, absolutely. Both of my parents are musicians, and my dad was a session guitarist he still is, for like the past 40 years. On a lot of on all kinds of stuff. He's a great jazz player, so I was exposed to all that kind of stuff very early on, and that was the basis of my background for music. So that's kind of what I came up listening to.
There's a little bit of that ethos of jazz, of that it's a partnership, that you have a lot of improvisation off of a central theme, right, and kind of this idea that people trade around who the leader is from session to session and that sort of thing.
Yeah,
and that's really foreign, I think, to a lot of what metal people think about.
Yeah, I think with this record, there was a very clear and conscious effort to not really care about how metal is supposed to work, what the formula is supposed to be, all that kind of stuff, and just do what we felt and what made sense. And there's a lot of cool, very different instrumentation that you don't hear in metal on the record. There's, like song formats and structures and things that are kind of, different and whatever. And definitely stylistically, it transcends beyond just metal, obviously. So.
And I guess, to all the people that hear everything that's different and unique about this album, as you said before, your core central thread, it still shreds like a motherfucker.
Oh, well, thank you. Yeah, I think that's sort of always the ongoing running theme with the Faceless is, the technicality and the playing, and we have I think we have a pretty distinct harmonic sound as well that definitely hasn't changed. Like, there's definitely a melodic and harmonic overall concept that's always there in our music that, you know, is pretty clear. So
Talk a little bit about what the addition of Evan Brewer brought to this record.
oh, it was awesome. You know, well, obviously there's not much I could throw at him that he wouldn't be able to play, which is nice, you know, and it's been a pleasure having him in the band. He's very ready to put in the work for whatever needs to be done, which is really cool, and like very much a team player. It's great. You know, jamming the new material with him, definitely, you know, harmonically, you know, he's got a very good grasp of harmony and theory, and jamming with him was cool because I guess just his harmonic ideas are kind of different than mine, and you know, he kind of put me in a mindset to think about other things and think in, you know, different tonalities and stuff, and there's some cool stuff that developed because of it.
The solo record he did, the Alone record, was just so amazing, and then to bring kind of that ethos again to what you did.
Yeah, very cool.
So, in terms of the direction that your music is going, do you think that, you know, that as audiences become more accustomed to this sort of thing, what are the potentials here?
I don't know. I mean, you know, we'll just keep doing whatever we want to do, ultimately, you know. I think, like I said, that core sound of the Faceless is never going to go away. You know, that's always going to be what defines us. But, you know, beyond that, the lines are sort of blurred for, you know, what's, you know, acceptable as the Faceless or whatever. I mean, who's to say what's acceptable as the Faceless?
You are. I mean,
yeah,
exactly. It's like fuck anybody else who wants to tell me what the Faceless is supposed to do.
Right, exactly. Like it or don't like it. We're going to do what we want to do. This is what we want to do. So.
Anything else you want to edit?
No.
Thanks for your time. I really appreciate it.